everyone, this video will show you how to set up and render the AI ToonShader. I'll be using a model that already has UVs and a simple base color for this guide. Open the render settings and change it to Arnold Renderer. Choose your desired image, file type and size optional. Move to the Arnold Renderer tab. Most of the default settings will remain unchanged. Turn on adaptive sampling for denoising only for the final render. The default setting is fine to me. It's best to test it yourself to get the right parameters for your CPU. Next, scroll down a bit to expand the filter menu, and set the Type 2 contour. This filter will allow edges to appear on your shader. The width will determine the thickness of these edges. Head over to the System tab. Make sure your render type is set to CPU. GPU rendering isn't supported for AI ToonShader. Already has UVs and a base color. Specifically, the hair and skin also include hand-painted texture information. I'll create a video tutorial on that at a later time. Open the Hypershade window to begin setting up your materials. Start with the costume. I'll be changing the material from default Lambert to AI ToonShader. Be sure to copy the naming because each time you switch shaders, the naming will automatically change. I relink the base color by holding down the middle mouse button, then drag and drop it into the color box of the base menu. Increase the weight from 0.8 to 1.0. You still don't see any changes to the material or textures because you're in viewport 2.0. Now we'll switch over to the Arnold viewport. Press play to start rendering in real time. Everything is still pitch black because this scene doesn't have any lighting yet. So, let's create some simple lighting. Starting with Arnold's sky dome light. At this point, you'll see that the costume part now has color and the model's outline has an edge, while other parts do not. So, we'll repeat the step of converting the material from default to AI ToonShader for all the remaining model parts. For the eyes, eyebrows, and eyelashes, I find that edges aren't necessary. For the eyes material, I'll disable the edge option. For the brows, since they're using the same material as the face, I'll only disable ID difference option. Regarding the appearance of the edges, it really depends on the specific case. Here, I don't want the edges to be too uniform, so I'll add some noise to them. This will create a more random, hand-drawn line artifact. I create an AI cell noise node and link it to the width scaling of the edge. By holding middle mouse, drag and drop to width scaling box. Select only the output RN edge width scale. We can use this same AI cell noise node for all materials in the scene. To see the influence of this cell noise node more clearly, we should increase the overall width of the entire scene a bit. Now, zoom out a bit to check the overall view. It looks like the overall width is a bit too thick. We can change the width at any time. Now we'll delve deeper into the shadow settings of the AI ToonShader. First, we'll create a main directional light to serve as the basis for adjusting the shadow parameters. Up until now, the shadow appearance of the shader hasn't shown any difference compared to the default material. Go into Tone Map to start creating the characteristic shadow ramp of the ToonShader. Create an AI ramp RGB node for the Tone Map box. Change the interpolation mode to none for all of them. Choose a lighter color for the shadow, matching the same color tone as the model part. Add another color step to enrich the color transition of the shadow. Increase or decrease the area of each color step as you prefer. Take some time for this step, as it will make your model look more like an anime style. Adjust the tone map for all parts, follow this method. You can use 2 or 3 color steps, depending on the part and your preference. Additionally, you should also adjust the edge color according to each part. Don't keep just one color for all edge colors. Further, I'll guide you on creating a few more additional maps to enhance the anime-style feel of your model. This helps ensure that different clothing parts will have distinct tone map shadows, even when sharing the same basic setup. Use the filter HSL Perceptive to create your desired tone map color steps. Replace the simple tone map colors from the beginning with these new tone maps. You can also use the darkest tone map color for the edge color. This will enrich the color of the edge. Additionally, to create more edges without having to draw extra line art, I'll create an ID map from the UV shells. I generate random UV colors and use them as an ID map. Each unique color will represent a different ID, and an edge will appear at the boundary between 2 different IDs. Therefore, if you want to create edges using an ID map, you might need to reconsider cutting and sewing UV seams appropriately, depending on the specific case. You can see that after having the ID map, more edges have appeared at the UV seams. These are all positions I calculated in previous steps modeling, UV. It seems the edge color isn't dark enough, likely because I'm using a tone map color that isn't dark enough yet. I will create edge color with a much darker tone to make the edge stand out more. Finally, I'll create a rim light cast from behind the character to add more sense of depth. I duplicate the main light and rename it to Rim Light. In the attribute editor of the rim light, I'll copy its naming and paste it into the rim lighting box of each material. Change the color to a lighter shade to see the effect of the rim light. Reduce the rim light width to a suitable level. Repeat this step to all remaining materials. Here's a small error regarding the edge. Even though it's a single skin mesh, I'm using 2 materials, one for the face and one for the body. Because of this, there will be a line at the boundary between the 2 materials. To remove this edge, I'll uncheck both the ID and shader difference boxes. And that's it. This will be the final result.